live. I want to skip the countdown and get right to this. We have a tornado warning, and this is really no surprise because we were looking at this storm crossing out of West Virginia. It's now coming into Montgomery County, out of Giles County and Craig County. This tornado warning is in effect until, read it right here, 4:15 p.m. At 3:37 p.m., a severe thunderstorm, you can see it right there, capable of producing a tornado, is located over Huffman or near Mountain Lake. It's moving southeast at 35 miles per hour, golf ball sized hail with this, and tornado potential with this. Flying debris would be dangerous to anyone caught in without shelter. Mobile homes damaged or destroyed. Hopefully on days like that today, I know it's hard with the COVID-19, but you have a sturdy shelter or someplace to go. If not, get into a ditch in this area. This is we're talking about Montgomery County. We're talking about areas north of Blacksburg. It does include Blacksburg, Newport, Mountain Lake, McDonald's Mill, Elliston Lafayette, Huffman, and Maggie. That includes Virginia Tech. This has been radar indicated. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the parameters here, but I want to first show you kind of a 2D view of what this is. This is the same storm that produced the severe thunderstorm warning that you see across Giles County in the yellow. Now within that, we've got some rotation that we picked up here, and I'll put this into motion. Over the past half hour or so, you can see that tighten as it comes off the mountains, and this has been researched. Sometimes what happens is when a storm comes off the mountains like that, if there is some spin, it gets stretched, and that stretching and that spinning, and for those of you on cable 12, this is for areas outside of Franklin County, but it's something we should watch as well. You can see there for a few frames it had a very distinct hook, and now it's hard to tell. It could be rain wrapped in a way, but it could be a very dangerous situation in that if you're traveling north of Blacksburg going up 460 there, this could be trouble because it could be rain wrapped. Now, notice the polygon. We say respect the polygon. You've got southwestern Craig County, and then if you're in Salem, it does not totally include Salem, although your phones may be going off right now for this tornado warning. But it looks to me like it's more of a glimmer and right up against the northwest part of Roanoke County kind of thing. And it does include I-81 between Elliston Lafayette and the exit 118 going into Christiansburg and areas to the north. This is going to slam areas around Virginia Tech and just to the east there, especially on that road that connects Catawba and Blacksburg, that back road there that comes out near the apartments and near the cellar that downtown. So this is a 3D view of that storm. I want to look at velocity data, see if I can see a couplet here. I'm looking at something. It's hard to tell. It could be it there. It's hard to tell because these storms, this part of the world, don't often produce the radar signatures that guarantee anything. Sometimes I look at differential reflectivity. There appears to be something there. Spectrum width, I'm looking for bright colors. Don't really see anything jumping out at me on the correlation coefficient other than that very tight hook. So if I go back a few frames, it was, let's go back to about right there. That could have been a donut hole there, actually. You can see a complete circle on the radar there. Let me look at other products. You'll just pardon me while I do that. You can see it almost looks like it was wrapped up in itself. If there was something there, there certainly was a ring on the correlation coefficient and the spectrum width. I'm not a total expert on this, so I don't want to get too much into radar data that is over my head, but I can tell you that as it continues moving, this is a three-dimensional look at where it would be going, eastern part of Montgomery County, and again, I believe what that's until 4:15. They're going to continue to update this as it moves out of Craig County. Now let me also show you a high-res radar. And there's the tornado warning. Okay. So you can see Blacksburg's here. Merrimack, it's just going to graze Merrimack. Let me put on some paths here. We're going to go back to right here, and we're going to put a marker right there. Advance it a couple of frames, and we're going to storm motion from marker, and we're going to do storm relative velocity. So this is going to take out the storm motion and just look at the velocity relative to the storm motion, and I'm looking for anything that kind of stands out in terms of velocity. And I do see that green right there going toward the radar where everything else is red. So that's circulation. It looked like it tightened up right there around let's see, 3:34. That was just a few minutes ago. That's right when the warning was issued. There's a lot of noise here on the radar too, which is hard to tell if that's actual high wind or not. But it would be right there if there was anything. Now, if I look at my correlation coefficient, looking for debris, don't really see a whole lot of that. Traffic cam 460, check it out. Okay. Probably shows part of the storm, I would imagine, or at least the cloud. Oh yeah. Kevin's got it up in the control room there. It looks like it's right there near 118. You can see that the clouds are darkening there. I'm not sure if we can see a funnel there, but I'm going to try to get that up on the browser too. You'll pardon me just jumping around here. We told you the environment was ready today for this type thing, and unfortunately that has come to fruition, and hopefully not anything confirmed, but these would be the areas needed to watch. The traffic cameras are along I-81, so they're probably picking up the blow off from this possible tornado. And then you've got this stuff out here across West Virginia to look at as well. There's a broader view of what's happening. Lots of wind shear. These are values of wind shear that have been very high for our area today, 40 to 50 knots of wind shear. Virginia 511 cameras. Radar indicated hail 1.75 inches. Trying to get a current image there. It's looking less defined on this 3D radar. That doesn't mean there's not a tornado hidden in there somewhere. Yeah, right in through here. Yeah, right there. Right here. Yeah, okay, cool. So this is just a dark sky, and you can see the lowering of the clouds. Move it a little bit here. Can't see anything defined here, but certainly there's a lowering to the cloud if you know there's something there, definitely with the severe thunderstorm. We'll keep this up and see if we can see a some kind of funnel or something going across here. I'm going to look also to have it up smaller. It actually looks a little bit better. Let me pop it up over here. So that's now looking at that. See a lot of hail in here. I don't see as tight of rotation, and that's the good news. But it could also mean that the storm is exhaling some and sending some of those high winds down to the ground. These things can I don't like using the word spin up, but sometimes they actually do. They spin up and they go away within a real quick amount of time. The old tornado warning now is right here in the Burgundy. The new one that continues now is for Montgomery County still. That includes Shawsville, up and down 460 and going out of Roanoke County to Elliston Lafayette there. So If you can avoid the interstate at that point, I would definitely do so. This is going to keep moving. I don't think this storm is going to go away. In fact, there's a strengthening of the storms here in southern Franklin County around the Ferrum area and Oak Level. These will probably connect at some point, may take out some of the rotation, but these are going to be formidable storms. But anytime you get a tornado warning, it's very, very concerning. I'm looking at more convergence because I'm looking at the radar, and I got a lot of red going. Red would be on this scale. For some reason, it's inbound, and the green's outbound on my scale that I have. It's kind of backwards. Now this is storm relative velocity or base velocity. Okay, so the storm relative has it outbound. This is inbound, and this is outbound. So if we go back, I'm trying to see if there was something right here where we had a lot of inbound right here. This was again around 3:34. About 20 minutes ago, we had a tremendous amount of wind at about 50, 55 miles per hour up to 60 miles per hour going in, and then going away from the radar, we had right there at that notch, we had that going away. That's storm relative velocity. Now, if you follow that, closer in the Blacksburg, you still see something right there. And Blacksburg will be here, Virginia Tech will be right here. You've also got a lot of noise showing us some yellow dots there. That would be at 90 mile per hour leaves or whatever getting kicked up perhaps. Looks like it diminished as it got to Blacksburg. And we will be getting better data because it's getting closer to the radar site there at the circle. That would be the only good news I've got for you on this, is that it looked like it may have spun up and then diminished. The only problem with that is you can convert rotational wind into straight line winds. And even though it may not be a tornado at the moment, it can spin back into a tornado. And whether or not it's spinning or not, if you have 100 and some mile per hour winds, it's going to do a lot of damage. Not to be ignored would be the hail threat with this, which again is on up there. There are some lowering here of the, you don't see the cranberry colors as much as seeing some yellow there. That could be some minor debris. Definitely a hail spike there where we're running into the beam there, hitting the hail. I want to see my rotation. We were just looking at that, Kevin and I were not too long ago on my GR Earth product, but there's the radar. Let me show you that. We'll go back to GR Earth, and I've got the rotation on. There's again the broad view, and you can see we've got other severe thunderstorm warnings which are still coming out now for West Virginia. We'll talk about those in a second. 1-inch hail reported in Monroe County from this tornadic cell into Blacksburg. It looks like now the warning has been lifted. There it goes into effect, and then it lifts. They were looking at the same thing we were, so everything's kind of blown back out into more of just an ordinary storm, although there's probably some weak rotation with this thing. But I wanted to show you this. This is the this is the rotation over the past hour. So you can track this, and what the radar does is it says, all right, where were my pixels rotating, what was going on here, and it gives it a value. So the gray values are low values of rotation, but they're there. So if you go into West Virginia, you can see we started to see a hint of rotation around Hinton with this, and you can track the storm off to the south and to the southeast. And then as it moves into Giles County, it picks up a lot of spin. And Catherine Prosiv, who is a meteorologist at NBC and at the Today Show, makes the maps for Al Roker while he's at home, did some research at Virginia Tech on the effect of spin as it comes off a mountain. It stretches. And if you're watching ever an ice skater with her arms out, or a male skater, and it pulls his arms in, conservation of angular momentum says that spin has to get stronger. And that's exactly what happens in the weather. The atmosphere is a fluid, and it can do stuff like that. So what happened is, in my opinion, it came off the ridge out of Pembroke there and near Mountain Lake, and it spun up something here. Hopefully nothing confirmed, but I tell you, it was a tightening of the spin and a bit of a lightning jump there as well. And you can see, luckily, just in time, by the time I got to Blacksburg, the spin has diminished somewhat, such that we no longer have the tornado warning, but we're looking at white on radar. And do you know what that means? That's hail, my friend. That is a lot of hail in the atmosphere. So that's extending the storm itself. You can probably hear the thunder in Salem and Roanoke. You were under a severe thunderstorm watch in Roanoke. If you are in the warning, you are in the path of this, and that's going to go right up against Elliston, Lafayette, Shawsville. There may be another warning very soon. It may hold within this polygon right here as it continues to move and drift off to the south. Here it is on the bigger picture, and let me move this a little bit for you here. So much information. Certainly has changed a lot over the past 20 or 30 years I've been doing this. So let's show you the watch that is including much of the mountainous areas, and there are the lines of storms coming out of Beckley. Still going to be a very long evening for a lot of folks. I'm going to pop up next rad, and we're going to turn on the Blacksburg radar. So we'll give you live data here. If you do me a favor on Facebook, you just share this out to folks. I would appreciate that. Sometimes I don't get a chance to share all this stuff out in time. I can do that right now, actually, though. There you see a potential path for this, although the radar data is going to be a little bit, I might have to manually track that. So let me do that. Share this to Finding Fire. I have my restream, which lets me do some of this, but I can only go to so many accounts. Has it passed tech or no? It has. It's over tech right now. I don't think it's a tornado though, but tech's probably getting hit with some hail. So if we go to a most current image here, we say this is moving off. What's the degree on this? Storm motion 136 at 35 miles per hour. So let's do this. We'll draw a manual storm track right here. I did not want to do it like that. There we go. 136. So this is 136 at 35. 33, 34, 35, 136 on the nose. Close enough. Okay, so there's your concern with this. All right, so these are arrival times. If it makes it to Rocky Mount, and it can make it to Cahays Mountain here within the next 16 minutes at 4:17, if this holds together. May not be tornadic, but you may have some large hail with this. You may have some dangerous straight line winds, a lot of thunder and lightning. It's crossing I-81 right now, just exiting Blacksburg, but parts of Tech are still seeing this. This is going to move across southwestern Roanoke County, coming off of Poor Mountain. It's going to come right across Poor Mountain. Hopefully the TV stations will stay on the air. A lot of lightning in the air with this. Notice there's another cell here down around Fair, and this is not the cell that's been warned on, but this could become severe, so watch out in Henry County and southern Franklin County. This tends to be a zone that we also have to watch for that stretching of vorticity, so we'll watch that very carefully. But I think this illustration gives you a good idea if the storm holds together. And look, we can even tilt it for you here and show you, let me get rid of that warning there, that if it were to continue on the path, it would miss Roanoke City to the southwest. Even though Roanoke City, yeah, you're getting the storm, you're not getting this part of the storm. That's the bad part. But 221 heading up toward Bent Mountain would be directly in the path of this within the next 15 minutes or so. You want to get in a safe place. You want to be away from windows. You want to get into a basement. The tornado warning has lifted. But remember, we can get severe weather with damage that's comparable to a tornado even without the rotation. And as I say that, we've got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued here. Let me get the text up for you and we will read that for you. This is for Roanoke County, City of Salem, northeastern Floyd County, which is right in through here. Northwestern Floyd County, City of Roanoke, northwestern Franklin County in central Virginia, northeastern Montgomery County until 5 o'clock. At 4:02, about 45 seconds ago, a severe thunderstorm was located over Elliston, Lafayette. We mentioned that, and that is right here. It's moving to the southeast at 35 miles per hour. Ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Also want to let you know, if you've ever been to a Major League Baseball game or even the Salem game or whatever, and you've seen the first-class pitchers throw a ball as hard as they can, and they get it up around 90, 95 miles per hour, that is how fast these rocks basically fall out of the sky. Not the little stuff, not the pea-sized hail, but once you get up to ping pong, golf ball-sized hail, that's like having a Nolan Ryan fastball coming right at your head. And that's why we tell you to put on your baseball caps or your football helmets, because debris can be just as dangerous. So this is a dangerous situation. I would say anywhere in the Boones Mill area from Hayes Mountain down through Callaway, you need to take shelter right now. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 5 o'clock. Also now is included Salem and Roanoke City, as the storm may be blossoming a little bit farther to the east. But the heaviest part of the storm there, I have tracked there for you. Now, I understand a lot of people can't watch the video, so what I'm going to do at the moment is I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to do a screen grab, and I'm going to put this out on some of my social media as I am on the air. So just bear with me, because I'm doing a little bit of multitasking here. I don't think you're going to notice too much on your end, other than the fact I may not be talking quite as much. I'll try to keep talking though at the same time. All right, we're going to crop that. We're going to save that. And now I need the text of this. So I want to go. We'll go here. And this is just what I read to you a second ago. But for the folks that aren't seeing the video, we're going to pick this up and we're going to get it out as an image. There you see the webcam there. So here we go. Now for my sponsors, you can see my sponsors there, Computers in Roanoke and Seal Tight. I don't have time to get the logo there on the actual radar image, but you're on the video for free. So hopefully you'll forgive me for not getting the logo everywhere. This is a matter of getting it out as fast as I can. Post it that way. And now that it's posted, I can go over to this computer, and I want to be able to have that shared. Well, dangerous storms. Let me go take you back here to this view too while we're at it. This software is just awesome. There's Radar Scope, and then there's Brad Panovich and Charlotte showed me this software that I'm using right here for my 3D stuff. You see the strongest of the cell there is it's still near Glenver, and Salem also extends right along 81. Hellacious Drive probably coming out of the evening rush there. Luckily, not a lot of people on the interstate probably with the COVID-19, but still. And then southwest Franklin County, you may see a warning go up around Ferrum very soon. Those cells look a little bit concerning in that they're sitting there, but they don't appear to be spinning at the moment. Anywhere in the path of this, though, Roanoke and Franklin counties, I think you're under the gun. Also, southern, it looks like Reiner is also in the path of this, and just went over the first storm is nearing the Floyd County radar site there, but you've got the other line there coming off the radar, and it just updated. If these two cells merge, because let me put that in motion. I don't think those storms in southern Franklin County are moving as fast as the one with the supercell, which makes sense. And we've got some, let's see, public reports hail of 0.7 inches there. Let's see where that was. I believe that was in West Virginia. Let me get this out to as many folks as possible. Would include my Rocky Mount folks. 12. And I'm going to share it to my main page. Pardon the Mr. Rogers silence. Even under times of stress, you have to take a breath. I'm going to go here and stay with me, folks. Path of the once go barn still very strong here. Wind. Southeast through southwest Roanoke, northern Floyd, Franklin. You never know who's going to see it on Twitter or Instagram. Thanks everyone for joining too there on Instagram. All right. So you can see why they extended it out. Roanoke's got some heavy rain right now. Salem's got the heavier rain. You move it back. This was the part that was spinning here. No longer is, but it certainly is moving very, very quickly. Just the momentum alone is going to bring down some tree limbs, probably with the high wind that's coming out of this. And then you've got, again, that cell that's sitting there over the southern Franklin County. So we are moving this out of an environment that was extremely favorable now into more of a overall environment here, but we still are going to watch that. But what I want to do is zoom back out here a little bit, show you the next line that still has yet to come through the area. And I know that looks ominous, but if you're watching in the Mountain Empire, all that lightning is got to come through at some point. Hopefully it will weaken somewhat, but this is a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain, almost too much for the computer system to keep up with. And the same areas that were just hit by the storms earlier now, Princeton, Oakville, this is in West Virginia, are going to get hit again by this storm going through Princeton Narrows, Dublin, Fairlawn by 4:58. So within the next 45 minutes or so, this has to be watched. as it moves a little bit farther south and west of where the current storm is. There's been a pattern to these storms today. They first were initiating over the Allegheny Highlands to the north, and then they began to carve away at the moist and unstable air, now over the area through Roanoke and Franklin counties. It'll be interesting to see if Rocky Mount gets bypassed by this. We could see more activity back build here to the Bluefield-Tazewell area. In fact, I do think Tazewell County into the Allegheny well, the Allegheny Highlands, not so much, but the Mountain Empire, Grundy, Marion, Wytheville, Galax, all the areas in the severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock do need to watch this very carefully, because this line is indeed moving south, and it's a real quick hurry. This is bowing out, and what's happening is stronger winds are aloft with this thing, and it's starting to bow out. If I go from reflectivity, and we'll go to base velocity, you can see some higher wind there that's just bowing right on out of that storm. Let me see if I can pull up some more impressive colors here, and we'll probe it. You've got incoming wind of about 51 to 38, 40 miles per hour. You get up here a little bit higher in the atmosphere, 63 miles per hour. But what happens is that gets brought down to the ground as the storm comes in straight line wind fashion. And if it spins up something, it hits the ground, it can accelerate. If it hits Claytor Lake, the water could accelerate it, and you get a lot of damage that way too. There's the Roanoke storm. Half-inch hail reported in Montgomery County. Don't have any damage from any wind right now that I'm looking at. If you were to zoom right into Salem, which I'm doing right now, the real heavy part of the storm and possible hail right now is in the southwest part of Roanoke, and then it continues through Salem there as you make your way toward Mud Lick and Cave Spring. Starkey getting in on the action as well from Shawsville all the way in here, and then that line kind of forming out toward, yeah, it looks like Windy Gap too. Maybe getting a little bit darker outside our TV station. Kevin Tosh is the man checking that out as we speak. We do have a special weather statement for this storm in southern Franklin County. I'll read it to you here as you see it there on your screen. Strong thunderstorm will affect central Floyd, southwestern Pennsylvania, northern Henry, southeastern Patrick, southern Franklin County, and south central Montgomery counties. At 4:06 p.m., a cluster of strong thunderstorms were located from Floyd to Ferrum to Oak Level. And that Ferrum storm has certainly, just in the last couple of minutes there, increased. Wind gust up to 50 miles per hour. That's enough to break tree limbs at a very good clip. And nickel-sized hail possible. Locations include Rocky Mount, Pilot, Ferrum, Axton, Callens, and Bassett. Frequent cloud-to-ground lightning occurring with the storm. Lots of lightning with this storm. So in Rocky Mount, my concern is for Franklin County is that we've got a storm up to the north in Roanoke that was tornadic, nearing in on Hayes Mountain and Boone's Mill. We've got 1, 2, 3 cells to our south producing a lot of thunder and lightning that don't appear to be moving very far to the south or east. They're just kind of hanging out there, and they're training over the same areas, in fact. So there could be a cell merger, and that this part of the storm here in Roanoke catches up to the Franklin County storm, and that could happen over Rocky Mount. Now, it's part of my job at Cable 12 to let folks on Cable 12 know, but I also need to let the folks here know in the town of Rocky Mount. So if you will do me a quick favor, I'm going to hop off for a second here, and because as I rejoin, the videos get a little bit more viewership. And again, when I rejoin you here in about 10 minutes, it won't be more than 10 minutes, I need to get an email out to Matt Hankins and the Public Works folks of Rocky Mount. We'll put out a couple of images, and we'll get right back on the air for you. We may even keep the radar up here on Cable 12 with just the audio down while we do that.